We can't hear you on the... Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, let me introduce the show while we get our guest, our host, Mike, taken care of. This is the Ask Brien show. You're on KHTS 98.1 FM, AM 1220, your hometown station. Welcome. Ask Brien, are you back? Should I introduce the website, Ask Brien, or should I keep going?
Well, first of all, I am back.
He's live.
I am live. And in case anybody did not hear me, we have a guest that is calling from so far away that I couldn't even throw a football that far, and I can throw a football pretty far. But she's calling all the way from Perth, Australia. Is that where you are, or did you move around in Australia?
I did actually move a little bit. I did a 3.5-hour drive to Yallingup, which is just south of Perth on the coast.
Now,
Wow.
Perth is on the west coast of Australia, right?
That's right. I'm in West Australia, yeah.
Well, we're going to be back with you in a minute or two. Just hold on, and we got a couple of things we want to go over on our show. This is we're speaking live from KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM.
I already, without the and, I announced us.
Yeah, but the and makes it a lot better. So,
Oh, dear.
Patty. So, yes, we were talking about Ask Brien. For people that don't know, this is the Ask Brien radio show, and they have an Ask Brien website, ASKBRIEN, the only way to spell the name. Some people try to spell it with an IAN or YAN, but they don't realize that IEN is the best way to spell the name Ask Brien. And Ask Brien is, as everybody knows, is a business website where business experts can ask and answer questions, post webinars for upcoming events, post videos, post content, and then the users can actually put that information onto their calendar for an opportunity to view everything. And that's all on the Ask Brien website. It's been going on for about a year and a half, and we have a few thousand people already signed up. What's new with you, Patty?
It's cool. And just a PS on that resource is all free for business owners.
That's correct. We don't charge any fees for that.
And that's a big plus, yes.
The goal is to learn. And that's the same thing with the Ask Brien radio show. The Ask Brien radio show, we try to get guests that we can actually teach something to somebody so that every time you either listen to the Ask Brien radio show or go onto the Ask Brien website, you'll always learn something about business. That's our goal.
It's business owners helping business owners. It's a beautiful thing.
And some experts.
So happy International Women's Day.
That's right. It's a very,
to
very
all
big
of us women.
It is a big, big day. It's International Women's Day.
We should be honored every day, but whatever.
No, let's not go there.
Hey. So I have a couple announcements. I'm excited. I am going to share some exciting news. I have my own show starting next Wednesday, the 14th of March, from noon to yeah. Thank you for the applause. From noon to 1. So have lunch.
We just
with me.
doubled our audience size.
I love it. Woo woo! It's called Starting Over, and it's really dedicated and focused on individuals who are going through a divorce or recently divorced or who've lost a spouse. And as a mortgage advisor, I'm going to, of course, cover money and loans and credit, but more importantly, I'm going to be involving wonderful expert speakers who will be talking everything from finances to emotions to wellness. So I'll have attorneys and financial planners, life coaches, personal trainers, motivational speakers, nutritionists, just the gamut, therapist, and we're going to address mind, body, and spirit, and it's going to be wonderful. I'm super excited.
Why starting over, not continuing a new, better you?
I like starting over better.
It sounds like you have to start from the bottom.
Starting over. No, you're starting your life over. It's a new chapter.
But you might be at a high end. That might be the best part of your life.
It very well could be, but you could still start over from a new high place.
Well, I think starting over indicates that you've gone someplace, now you want to create something new.
That's right. You're starting something new.
All right, without any further ado,
let's keep going.
We have the wonderful person from Australia who has a very, very weird accent. It's an English accent in Australia.
Are you there? Harriet, I'm really sorry.
That's okay. I'm just listening to the comedy introduction. Thank you very much.
Oh, dear.
And I'm very glad you understand that it is comedy, because that's what we try for. Obviously, it's a lot easier to learn when you're laughing. So,
absolutely.
Let's go over a couple of things. First of all, how do you reside in Australia, or are you just visiting?
No, I'm currently on tour. I'm doing a round the world tour to speak to and empower women. It's called the Light Tour.
Now, describe the light tour. You said empowering women, but what exactly does that mean? Empowering them in what manner?
Okay, so I'm a money mindset coach. I'm the leading expert from the UK, and I'm also a priestess of light. So the work that I do is very twofold. I deal a lot with mindset and business, but then I also deal a lot with spirituality. So this tour that I'm taking around the world at the minute is helping women to create a new money mindset so that they can live abundant lives and create abundant businesses, but also understand the law of abundance, which is a universal law, which is very much grounded in spirituality. So I do both. It's creating a whole new life and business using practical tools and spiritual tools. So that's why it's called the Light Tour. It's bringing women into their light where they deserve to shine.
That's wonderful. So this tour takes you where? Where will you be going throughout the world, upcoming?
So right now I'm in Perth, Australia, well, just outside Perth, in the bush. Then I'm going on to Melbourne, then Sydney, then Brisbane. Then I'm flying over to beautiful LA. I cannot wait. I'm going to be with you guys on the 20th until the 25th of March, which is going to be epic. And then I'm going to Chicago, then to Atlanta, then to Columbus in Ohio, then Philadelphia, then New York, then on to Toronto in Canada, and then I'll be flying back home.
Wow, I'm tired just hearing your travels.
Home was England, you said, correct?
Yeah, London, the UK.
And did you start in Australia?
I started in the UK, and actually I flew to LA right at the beginning of March just to do some networking and some press there, and then I flew to Australia. So I've already been to see beautiful LA, although it wasn't that warm. Well, it's a little bit chilly.
Well, it's 78 now, so
it's a beautiful day today.
So good. I'm so pleased.
Oh yeah, you'll have very nice weather, I'm sure. So in LA specifically, where? Since our listeners are in the LA area, tell us where you're going to be in LA.
So I was in Newport Beach the first time, so I'll definitely be stopping back there. I'll also be going to Long Beach and Venice Beach, and where did my event? Downtown. My event lady said something about downtown.
Downtown LA? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a local, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to be in lots of different parts of LA because I'm there for 5 days.
Now, is each event 1 day long?
No, so the main event is on the 24th, but I'm going to be running smaller VIP stuff for people who can't make the main event on the 24th. So that the main event's in downtown.
Is that at the convention center?
I'm not entirely sure where it is, but I will certainly let you know. My event planners have sorted it all out.
So does your website have all this information for those who want to attend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does. askharriet.co.uk/tour. And all the information for all the cities is on there. My team are awesome, and they're updating it. I'm just so full on traveling around, It's a really grueling schedule. I am constantly on the road.
Yeah, it sounds like it's exhausting. But it could be a beautiful thing, for sure.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Is it just you, or do you have other people with you when you go to each conference?
It's just me on the stage, and it's just me traveling around. My team in the UK are doing all the behind-the-scenes stuff, but from the UK. So it really, truly is a one-woman show.
So tell us about the event itself. I'm very intrigued. The money mindset and mindset of business owners. Without giving away the toolbox, tell us what the day looks like. What do you walk them through? Various meditations, experiences.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I open with a 1-hour talk, which is a little bit about my story and how basically I've been in business for 10 years, and then about 6 years in, I was very, very successful in my early 20s. Pretty arrogant little shit, I'll be honest. And,
sounds like me.
And I was naive. I didn't actually have all my legal papers sorted. I wasn't fully protected. So that 3 of my staff at the time actually managed to poach most of my clients from me. They basically took my business off me, and overnight it just disappeared. And I wasn't legally protected. So I lost everything overnight. I went into £100,000 worth of debt. But then 3 years later, I'd made my first million and, self-declared self-made millionaire. I accredit it all to spirituality. I was very much into the law of attraction. I did so much money mindset work. So I share the the kind of story around, my journey. I also teach a little bit about the universal laws. There are 12 universal laws that govern our universe. And then I go into a lot of detail about the law of abundance, which is obviously really important because women need to understand they have a right and a responsibility to have money, to earn money, to do their duty and their service in the world. And I also talk about the law of co-creation and how we can co-create with the universe, how we manifest, essentially, but using the law of co-creation and not the law of attraction, which isn't actually one of the universal laws. It's one of those things that's like super popular and everybody talks about it, but it's only half the story. The law of co-creation really shows you how to manifest. So I'll teach them all this kind of stuff. And then I'll take them through a guided meditation, which is a light activation. So that helps them to really step into their awakening, because I'm sure you guys know people are waking up all over the world, right?
Yes.
So some women are in the early stages of their awakening. Some are quite advanced. Some haven't even got there. So the light activation meditation will just accelerate them along their awakening path. It's truly amazing work. It's probably the favorite part of my job. And I'll take everyone into a workshop where I will teach you how to figure out your numerology so that you know what your soul path is, you know what your life path is, you know what your destiny, your karma, and your gift paths are, which is just so eye-opening when you're trying to figure out what you're meant to do in this life. Numerology is powerful. So I don't just give you the numerology, I teach you how to figure it out yourself so that you've got a much stronger idea around what it is that you're here to do. And then I also workshop the ladies through their identity statements and their limiting belief segments so that if we need to, we can reframe the beliefs right there and then at the event so that they walk away super empowered. And then I open up the floor for Q&A, and I'll do a little bit of one-to-one coaching with anybody that needs it right there and then.
You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. Now, question for you.
I'm sorry, Harry. I'm really sorry.
You threw out a lot of terms out there, and not everybody is as fluent as you are. And so, my first question is, this theory of abundance, this theory of co-creation, the theory that you mentioned. Did you discover those through reading a book? Did you go to classes on that? Did you create it yourself? How did this come about? And what are they specifically? Go over each one. As an example, what is abundance?
Okay. Alrighty. So I discovered the law of attraction, I think, like everybody did, through The Secret, the famous book that became a movie. So I used to read a lot about manifesting, and Abraham Hicks was a massive teacher for me. If anyone doesn't know Abraham Hicks' books, they're a really good place to start. Mm-hmm. This is all to do with the law of attraction, right? So that is where I started. The more I went down the spiritual path, I then started doing Kundalini yoga. I then started doing meditation. I then realized I'm a psychic clairvoyant. So my psychic clairvoyant gift really started to develop and get really, really powerful. I found a mentor to help me really enhance that psychic gift. And I started communing with the archangels and the ascended masters. So kind of next level spirituality. From there, I decided to train as an energy healer. So I can heal people energetically. I can heal physical ailments with my energy healing. It's beautiful work. And I took that one step further, and then I became priestess of light. So when you're at that level of awakening and enlightenment, you have a direct connection to the universe. It's like you can just talk to your spirit team anytime you like, and you can, what I call, divinely download information. So when you're at this level of awakening and enlightenment, the universe literally sends messages through you that need to be delivered to humanity. For the greatest, highest good of us all, to teach us all. So it was through this direct divine downloading that I downloaded the universal laws. And initially, I questioned it, and I said, well, this ain't right, because where's the law of attraction? The law of attraction changed my life. The law of attraction is a really, really big deal. And I kind of had a bit of an argument with my spirit team. Call me crazy. But I did. And they said, no, Harriet, it's the law of co-creation, because the law of attraction teaches us, and it was very valid at the time that it was being taught, but humanity's progressed even more. We're ready for next level stuff. So the law of attraction teaches that we can manifest simply by visualizing, by focusing on things, by staying in the vibration of the thing that we want to attract. And it's very much centered on the work that we do I don't know if you guys know much about manifesting, but it's all about you must visualize it, you must say it, you must think and feel the emotion, you must hold that emotion for 17 seconds. And there's a lot of centered responsibility on the individual to manifest the thing that they want to manifest using the law of attraction. The law of co-creation is completely different in that it is you working with the universe to manifest the thing. So actually it takes loads of pressure off and it makes the whole process so much easier. All that's required for us when we use the law of co-creation is to set the intention for the thing that we want, and yes, to hold the visualization to set the manifesting matrix in motion. But after that, we get to surrender and we get to sit back and watch the show as the universe does the rest for us. It's a co-creation. And I've been using the law of co-creation for the last 12 months. It has changed my life in ways that I cannot even tell you. The stories are phenomenal, like just truly mind-blowing, amazing stuff. And the law of co-creation is so much easier to get your head around when you understand the law of abundance, which very simply says we have a right and a responsibility to be abundant. We would not be born into this world, into the Western world, unless we had a gift that we were meant to do something with and earn abundantly from that gift. And that gift can be anything. You don't have to be a psychic clairvoyant, that applies to teachers, to nurses, to doctors, to lawyers, to stay-at-home moms, to coaches, to mentors, to, even down to your checkout girls and your street sweepers. Everyone has a place in this world, and once you realize your purpose, then you can use the law of co-creation and the law of abundance to make it a truly fulfilled life. It's epic stuff.
Yeah, it sounds amazing, and I'm a true believer and proponent of everything you just shared. I think that we are, as humans, we tend to underestimate what we are capable of and our abilities. If we knew what we could, if we knew what we were capable of, it would probably scare us with how powerful that we are and our abilities. And I think we're all blessed with talents and skills and gifts, and if we don't use them, it's a disservice to our community. It's a disservice to our world.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you're so right.
Yeah.
And we are so powerful, and this is what the awakening is about. It's literally waking up to your power. It's remembering how powerful we are. 10,000 years ago, as a humanitarian race, we were insanely powerful. Even think back to the days of the Egyptians and building the pyramids. To this day, they still can't quite figure out how they did it. And there's so much in history that we can't figure out how they did it. It's because they were using their divine gifts. Like, they were really operating at a high level of awakening. That all got wiped out. And so for the last 2,000 years, it's like we've been going through a really slow process of coming out of a coma.
Yeah,
but the awakening is really here. It's called the Aquarian Age, and 2018 especially is a powerful year in numerology. It's the year of the 11, which is the year of mastery, which is really the year that we get to master our lives and master our gifts. So if you are on the awakening path right now, even if you're just starting to become aware of self-development, and self-love and self-worth, that's the first step. This year is going to be amazing, and I think people are really coming into it much more quickly and much more powerfully, and it's so beautiful to watch. I have so much faith in humanity. I mean, we're awesome. We are amazing.
Very, very exciting. Well, we've got about 10 seconds left before we go to commercial. We come back, I want to touch on some of the mindset and the beliefs of that mindset, so stay tuned.
We know you've made some New Year's resolutions, and so did the Church on the Way Santa Clarita. The Church on the Way Santa Clarita is celebrating 10 years as a church, and they resolve to make the next decade even greater by continuing to love God, serve people, and change lives. Join them on Sundays at 8:30, 10, and 11:30 a.m., where there's something available for everyone. They can't wait to meet you. For more information about what's upcoming at the Church on the Way Santa Clarita in 2018, visit tcotwsc.org.
Your building sign is essential in getting customers to your location. Feathers can help get your business noticed. They walk you through each phase of your building sign project, providing special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will give you a sign you can be proud of. Your building sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Feathers on Soledad in Canyon Country, across from the Edwards Theater. Or go to feathersphoto.com. That's feathersphoto.com.
At City of Hope, we don't believe the future can wait for the future. For over a century, we've been advancing science that saves lives. From 4 of the world's top cancer-fighting drugs to the development of synthetic human insulin, we are maximizing the potential of immunotherapy and making precision medicine a reality. It's not enough to promise future cures for cancer. We must find them sooner. We are the miracle of science with soul. Find out more at cityofhope.org.
Have you heard about Assistance League Retail Store? For a good time and a great deal and bargains that are an amazing steal, there are friendly volunteers ready to share a smile. So come on in and stay a while. We take donations on gently used goods, and proceeds from our sales stay in the neighborhood. So for a great buy and a special find, come visit our store anytime. Assistance League Resale Store located at 24369 Main Street in downtown Newhall.
If you're in danger of losing your home to foreclosure, you need an expert. Hi, I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty. I've helped hundreds of Santa Clarita residents save their homes completely for free. I've got just over 20 years experience and a loan modification success rate of over 80%. I can negotiate better terms with your bank and I can save your home from foreclosure. And again, we do this completely for free. So if you're in any danger, please call me today at 661-714-1400. That number again is 661-714-1400. I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty, and I'll be happy to help you save your home for free.
My favorite restaurant in Santa Clarita? Salt Creek Grill, of course. Great food, neat atmosphere.
For a business lunch or romantic dinner, I'll always go to Salt Creek.
Hi, I'm Greg Amsler, owner of Salt Creek Grill. We have created Salt Creek to provide you with the most comfortable and inviting restaurant in Santa Clarita. Enjoy fresh mesquite grilled fish, aged steaks, and the best chops imaginable. There's entertainment every Friday and Saturday night, and we have the best Sunday brunch in town. Salt Creek is on Town Center Drive in Valencia.
Buying your home can sometimes be challenging. That's why Charlene Gill with CSMC Mortgage is your Santa Clarita mortgage expert. What's important to you is to secure a loan at the best possible rate, to have a professional guide you through the process, and to close on time. Charlene's 23 years in the mortgage industry and her personal expert knowledge in the Santa Clarita Valley makes her your mortgage expert. Contact Charlene at hometownstation.com/Charlene. That's hometownstation.com/Charlene.
Yes. KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. See, I was very, 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 very respectful there.
Animated.
So, well, we have a wonderful guest, and for her, it's really, really, really early. You talk about awakening. She had an awakening very, very early because it's a 17-hour time difference. What is there, like 5 o'clock or something?
It's 5:30 a.m. right now.
I mean, at 5 o'clock in the morning, I can barely get out of bed, and you're here doing interviews 3,000. What is it? 6,000 miles away?
I have no idea. And you know what? The jet lag. I've been in so many cities and time zones already. My poor body just doesn't have a clue what's going on. So I was like, it's time to get up, and it was like, okay, let's go.
Let's do this. Don't you wake up one day and go, okay, where am I and what am I doing today and what city, what country am I in?
Yeah, that's going to happen real soon, I'm sure.
Dear.
Well, technically, it's summer over there for her. It's summertime.
Huh?
It's summertime.
Well, it's 32 degrees. Oh, that's Celsius. So what is that in Fahrenheit?
37 is 98, so it's probably in the high 80s.
So you're nice and toasty. Oh, good. Good.
Beautiful.
So, Peter, you had a question coming back.
Yeah, so I had some questions. You
and then
had mentioned the co-creation part, and you mentioned that you had a couple of things that have happened to you over the last year, and it just really came on board in the last year. And I wanted you to go over like 2 or 3 of those stories. So let's start with just the most important thing that you can recall regarding the co-creation within the last 12 months that you'd like to share.
My biggest co-creation and still my favorite co-creation, and the one that I feel I have to pinch myself sometimes, and I'm like, I cannot believe Universe co-created that with me. That's awesome. Was in July of last year. I purchased a £1 million home in North London. And I mean, that's an achievement in itself to buy a £1 million home in North London, right? Because London property is insane. But I I was told repeatedly by so many people that it wasn't even possible. So here's the backstory. In about March time, I decided that I was bored of my one-bedroom flat. I was ready to go next level with my abundance. I really felt that I wanted a 4-bedroom home, that me and my partner would be starting a family, and this is just what I wanted to do. And I mentioned it to my parents, and they said, but you're crazy. You know, you're a career woman. You're fine. You've got a centrally located apartment. What do you need a house for? And anyway, you can't afford a house like that. And I sort of said, okay, let's see. I put my flat on the market, and I went to loads of estate agents and realtors, and I said, I want £500,000 for this flat. And they said, no, you're not going to get £500,000 for that. You're going to get about 400,000. It's not worth £500,000. I said, no, I want £500,000 for it. And they said, why do you want £500,000? I said, well, I need to sell this for £500,000 so I can buy that for £1 million. And they said, oh, okay, have you got the rest of the money? And I said, no, I'm going to mortgage it. So everyone just sort of looked at me and said, okay, that's not possible, but whatever. So I went to my accountant and I said, right, I'm selling this for £500,000 and I want to buy that for £1 million. I need to get a mortgage. And he said, well, that's impossible. Your accounts don't stack up. We've been running your businesses in a very tax-efficient way, but you're not going to be able to get a mortgage off the back of it. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. And I said, okay, no problem. You're sacked. I'll go find another accountant. So I then went and found another accountant, and I said, I know you don't know me, but I've got a really good feeling about you. And this was helped with my spirit team, said, call this accountant, this very specific person. And I said, I know you don't know me, but I want to sell this flat, and I want to buy that house, and I need to get a mortgage. And he said, okay, no problem. Show me your accounts. And I gave him all the accounts, and I handed over all of my businesses. I said, you're in charge of all of my accounts now. I'm giving you all the work. And he looked at it, and he said, okay, it's tricky, but it's not impossible. So I said, cool, all righty, that's better. He said, but we need to go around all the banks. So I said, all right, fine. We went to 4 different banks. The first 3 said no, and they didn't even say we'll lend you this much. They just said, no, you're too risky, you're not a safe bet, we're not going to lend you that much. This process went on for about 3 months. My parents kept saying to me, Harriet, it's not possible. Even my new accountant, who had a little bit of faith, was getting worried. My estate agents who were selling the flat for me were getting worried. And the people that I were buying the house from actually wanted 1.1 million. They didn't want to accept $1 million. And I just kept saying, universe, I'm co-creating with you. I'm selling the flat for $500,000. I'm going to get the mortgage that I want, and I'm buying that house for $1 million. Anyway, long story short, the 4th bank said yes. And they said yes on the back of an interview. So they brought me in for an interview, and he said, talk to me, tell me what you do, tell me your plans for world domination and all the rest of it. And I told him, and he said, do you know what? I like you. I'm going to take a punt on you. There's your mortgage. And then I manifested a young woman who was similar age to myself. She came round to see my flat. She fell completely in love with it. She also had a cat like me, so there was a bit of cat-mom bonding going on. And she said, how much do you want for it? And I said, $500,000. And she said, cool, sold. And my estate agent's face was a picture. It was brilliant. So I said, cool, fine, sold. So I sold the flat. I got the mortgage. And then I said to the people that own the house, right, I'll give you $1 million for this. And they said, we want 1.1. I said, I'll give you $1 million. That's my final offer. And they tried to play games with the estate agent and the realtors, you know how they do. Oh, we'll do 1 million in this and we'll do 1 million in that. And I said, no, 1 million. And the estate agent said, if you don't pay more than 1 million, you're going to lose this house. And I said, I'm buying that house for 1 million. And anyway, eventually they agreed. And I got exactly what I wanted. Now, on paper, that whole story is impossible. My flat wasn't worth $1 million. It wasn't worth $500,000. My house is worth more than $1 million, but I paid under the odds. And on paper, my money, my accounts should not really have got that mortgage, but I got one. And honestly, it all came from co-creation and faith. I had to step out of my human limiting beliefs and really step into the idea that there is something so much more powerful in us. And if we truly, really want something and it serves us, and that serves the greatest, highest good of all humanity, then we can have it, even if on paper it's impossible.
If that's the plan will happen, right?
I know that would never work for me. The banker would look at me and go, 720 credit score, this, that. This is what you're getting. It's a numbers game.
It is what it is.
Yeah, my credit score was terrible. It was awful. Honestly,
Patty,
on
would
paper,
you give that mortgage?
I should not have got that mortgage, but I was just so determined. I got it.
Yeah, I do mortgage. I'm a mortgage advisor, and we have different guidelines. We have Fannie Freddie guidelines that you probably don't have, Fannie's
the girl and Freddie's the guy?
Good Lord. comedian here. We got a comedian here. Anyways, the guidelines are just what they are, and it's because the investors who buy our mortgages will not buy them from us if we don't have, within those guidelines. So it is a different world, I'm sure. So, but it's good for you. That's amazing.
Well, I think if you have the right mindset, you can do it.
So let me ask.
This is the thing. I should never have got that mortgage, even to this day. Like my parents, who are property developers and do this all the time, are astounded because I just completely slipped through the system. I should not have got that mortgage, but I got it.
You could write a book just on that.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, right?
How to beat the system.
So let me touch on something that we touched on off air. That is for those who have a certain tape recorder in their brain, for lack of better words, that is playing from experiences from childhood. Typically, they're negative. They're limiting behavior or limiting thoughts. They're feelings of lack or thoughts of lack. And it's hard sometimes to press through that. And we want to manifest. We want to think positive. We try to stay positive. When those negative tape recorders are playing in our brain, what do you suggest to power through that? What are your tools to help those?
Yeah.
Hit the delete
no,
button.
I hear you. It's a real problem, right? And I'm sure so many mindset coaches know this because it's the hardest bit to crack. So I developed my own system because even I was getting frustrated with myself, with my clients. I developed a whole new system because what we're all trying to do, even just, self-development or as mindset coaches, is we're going straight to the belief portion. We're like, okay, these are our beliefs. This is what we need to break, right? And that's where we're going. But that's actually the third step in the system. The second step in the system is identity. And the first step in the system is spirit. So I realized that for me to truly crack beliefs in myself and in my clients, I needed to go a little bit further back. We all think the beliefs are where everything starts, and that's true in a way. Our beliefs dictate our decisions and our actions and our behavior and all of that. But before our beliefs is our with ourselves, and before identity is spirit. So there's two elements that I do before I even look at beliefs and all that negative self-talk that's going on. I say, right, who do you want to be? Like, let's just play a game here. Let's pretend I'm your fairy godmother and I have a real magic wand. 3 years from now, if I could make your life look like anything, what would that look like? And I let my clients kind of go into a process of describing this amazing life that they really want, because the imagination overrides the limiting beliefs, because it's just a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be real. So when we're in that creative, imaginative space, that's like it's a bypass. Okay, so I get them into that place, and I say, right, who is that person who has this life? And they describe this person, and I say, make that identity your identity. So we need to, what I call, anchor in this identity. So I help my clients build identity statements. So if let me just pull some clients out of my head. So Hannah, she would say, I am a £1 million natural fertility expert known globally as the baby maker, right? That's her identity statement. And I get my clients to really anchor this in and just say it on repeat. It's kind of like fake it till you make it, right? You say the mantra on repeat, you anchor this in, so you might write it on Post-it notes all over your house, you might put lipstick on the mirror, you say it to yourself, you record it, you constantly bedding in, anchoring in this mantra. One of my other clients calls herself a 2.5 million manifesting madam and mistress of the Milky Way. I love her. She's fabulous.
Mistress of the Milky Way. That's interesting. Are you there?
Did we lose her?
I think we lost her.
Oh, we're just getting juicy there, too. Can we give her a call back, or we're gone? All right, well, let's keep going. So she was talking about the changing the mindset and getting out of that negative place, and she was talking about creating an identity and speaking to that identity, and the importance of just staying in that mindset.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that goes to the positive mental attitude, right?
Yeah.
And what she's trying to do is trying to visualize in order to get, and again, hopefully she'll come back on, but what I got out of it was, hey, listen, if you want to be something in life, okay, you can, in your imagination, you can be anything you want, regardless of if you have bad thoughts, bad problems in your life. You can think of what you want to be, and you make yourself who you are, where you want to be, surrounding yourself with the people you want to be, and the location you want to be. And by having that in place, then you can try to figure out, well, okay, that's where I want to be. I've got a window here of 3 years. How am I going to get there?
Yeah, you've got to have a plan in place, but that mindset is crucial. I work with, are you familiar with John Assaraf?
No, I'm not.
He's a personal development guru, and he trained under Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins, and very, very inspiring, wonderful coach. And I am part of his coaching program, so I've been following him for a number of years. And he goes into the neuroscience of the actual brain and the physical aspects of what happens in the brain, and it's amazing, and it's very it's shocking how much we don't control, and that what we can control. But they speak about he speaks about the neuroscience of the brain, and the not only the manifestation, but is she back? Oh, we're back.
I'm back.
Oh,
so
you're back.
You probably couldn't hear what we were talking about, but we created we made pretend we were you, which is very difficult.
No,
that was my visualization was I'm you in 3 years. Now I'm back. Now I'm traveling back in time 3 years ago. So how am I going to figure this out? And I did. That's my co-creation.
I'm so sorry. What happened? I just got cut off.
I don't know if it with our end or your end or what happened, but
it's called great technology. But what we were discussing, we're going to go over for about 30 seconds, and we'll get back to you. Was I was just trying to create what I thought you were going down, and I don't know where. But my point was, if I can see where I am with an imagination, I can create where I am and where I'm going to be in 3 years from now, who I'm going to be, what I'm going to want. Visualize that, and then try to figure out how I'm going to get there step by step to get to that goal. That was what I thought you were going, but I had to make something up. I'm probably not, but that was what it was.
She's like,
so now let's get the real answer.
That's funny.
Yeah, alrighty. So, I mean, look, the identity statements work, okay? And I think pretty much what you just said is right. Apart from the last bit, is figuring out the how. That breaks the law of co-creation. It's not our job to figure out the how. So quite often things, when we're struggling to manifest, it's because we're too focused on how something's going to happen, which means that we're not co-creating with the universe. And when we break any of the universal laws, it makes it really, really difficult for the universe to work with us. But it's not actually our job to figure out the how, which is where the spirit part of my system comes in. So you guys embed your identity in, you anchor it in, and then I activate spirit. And I get that not every mindset coach can do this, but this is why I love my role as a priestess of light and as a psychic clairvoyant channeler, because I can connect you guys, my clients, anyone at my events, to your higher self, to your true soul essence, so that you get your own spirit team. It really enhances your intuition, and it gives you that, what I call the light activation, so that you can co-create with the universe all along the way without ever having to worry about the how. The how is what is killing us. It is not our job to figure out how our life is amazing. All we have to do is focus on the what and the why.
And I completely agree with you. Okay, so there's two parts of my brain here, or I should say, there's two little people.
The left side and the right side.
No, there's two little people on my shoulder. So one person is absolutely saying, "Yes, I agree."
Is one the angel, one the devil?
Listen here, quiet. There's the one side that agrees that yes, we don't figure out the how, and that's up to God, universe, spirit, whatever your belief is. Mm-hmm. And then there's the other side of me that's like, okay, I can't. That my control freak part of me is like, well, I have to figure out how. It's my role to figure out how. If I don't have a plan, then how do I get there? So there's the if I let go of the how, I let go of the control, and that's hard for a lot of us. Yeah.
It is. But do you know what's going on here? That's just such a beautiful example. Thank you so much for sharing that. So what's going on here is a duality conflict. So as human beings, we live in duality. Duality means we have a soul and we have an ego, right? Not ego in the negative sense, not like, oh my God, you've got such a big ego. The ego in the duality sense is ego is the thing that protects us. So ego is the thing that stops you putting your hand in the fire and jumping off a cliff. ego likes to protect us. Ego also likes to keep us small and safe. It doesn't like us expanding. It doesn't like us going for big, scary things. It doesn't like us going for the job promotion or quitting our job to start that business. It doesn't like us putting ourselves out there to be seen because it wants to protect us from being hurt. It wants to protect us from being vulnerable. So it's ego that's saying it is our job to figure out how, because ego likes to control. Ego has to control things. So to a point, we have to live in duality. We have to let the ego do its work, and we are grateful for ego. Thank you very much, ego, for keeping us safe. But at the same time, there comes a point where you have to really let your soul lead the way. Your soul has to be the stronger dominant of these two. So your soul needs to say to your ego, listen, ego, that's great that you're freaking out, that you want to control things and you want to do the how. You've been doing that for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and it hasn't really worked. So why don't we try something new and just see how that pans out? And you start having these conversations. It's almost like having two people in your head. It's crazy, but there is your soul and there is your ego. You will eventually get into a practice and a habit of letting your soul come out, even if it's just occasionally, just letting your soul lead so that you go into full surrender. When you witness the results, when you truly feel the expansion of letting your soul lead, your ego will get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you are, say, 80, 90% of the time leading with soul.
In the soul.
That's the place you need to be.
I love that. We're going to continue. We've got to go to commercial, but I want to continue the conversation, so stay with us.
Santa Clarita's premier senior living community, Oakmont of Santa Clarita, is leasing, bringing comfort and luxury to assisted living. Seniors can enjoy 5-star amenities, panoramic views, easy access to the freeways, and nearby shopping centers in a world-class community that provides an advanced continuum of care. No other community has this kind of luxury and amenities in our valley. You'll find good health, vitality, and purpose at Oakmont of Santa Clarita. Stop by for a tour. Visit oakmontofsantaclarita.com.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
There's only one Santa Clarita plastic surgeon who is Yale trained and board certified, Dr. Justin Heller.
To be a board-certified plastic surgeon like myself, what that truly entails is about 5 to 7 years of honed surgical training in reconstructive, all areas, as well as aesthetic, so which means your facelifts, your breast augmentations, your body contouring, true training, and board certification. In fact, that's the only board-certified area that can be achieved in this realm.
Dr. Justin Heller, warm, understanding, always available for guidance because he's local. HellerPlasticSurgery.com.
City of Hope is a world leader in cancer research and treatment, and there's a City of Hope community practice location right here in Santa Clarita, eliminating a major barrier in the fight against cancer: distance to quality care. Santa Clarita benefits from City of Hope's compassionate care and renowned clinical expertise. Find out more at cityofhope.org/Santa Clarita or call 661-799-1999.
Welcome back, KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. We're here live. Of course, our guest is live across on the other side of the planet, probably flushing the wrong way. But anyway, here we are. So before we went to break, I had a question actually outside of the break, and I wanted to know if you could give us an exercise. Now, this is on radio and 6,000 miles away, where you could actually teach a business person how to do something that will help them in their lives. And so, did you come up with something that you could do on the radio?
Yeah, I think so. I think all the things that we've been talking about, ultimately, it's coming out of fear into love or coming out of ego into soul, whichever way you look at it. And I think for us to truly make a shift into an abundant life, an abundant mindset, there's some practical stuff that we really can do to get us started. Cool. And I think the reason so many of us live in fear and live in ego is because we have an unawareness of what's actually going on in our lives and in our businesses. So the first thing I recommend you guys do is take a 3,000-foot view of where you're at. really, truly understand what's going on financially. What are your figures? What's your turnover? What's your net? What's your gross? What are your expenses? What's in each of your bank accounts? What are your projected figures? What expenses are coming out of your accounts that you could maybe lose? Where are there leaky funnels that we can plug? Well, what's going on in your relationships? Who's really serving you? Who makes you feel great? Who makes you feel not so good? And what about all your day-to-day stuff? What obligations are you perhaps taking on that aren't serving you? Because for us to really move into love and to move into a soul-based life, we need to come from a place of self-love. And that self-love means that we need to let go of anything that diminishes our self-worth. So if we're hemorrhaging money, if there's expenses just coming out of our bank account on direct debit that we're not even aware of, that we probably don't even need, that's something that we can look at. That's something practical that feels proactive. If there's people in our lives who just make us feel like shit all the time, we can get rid of those people. If we're fulfilling obligations that perhaps we don't need to, but we're taking them on out of guilt or fear or shame, then let's look at that as well. Let's look at all areas of our life where we're operating in a negative vibration, anything that's draining us rather than filling us up. So you can do a really comprehensive study of your own life and figure out what's working and what's not. Ditch the stuff that's not, and that will create space for you to manifest and co-create something new and something even more incredible in your life. Then you can go down the visualization route. Then you can decide what it is you really want and how you would like that to look. You can then create the identity statement. You can look at all the limiting beliefs that are maybe holding you back, and then ultimately you fall into faith. You trust fall with the universe. You surrender and you say, all right, buddy, I'm so up for this. I'm going to try a new way, and I'm going to come from love, and I'm going to come from soul, and I'm going to put myself first, and I'm going to try and purge myself of all negative emotions so that I can truly try this new way of doing life.
How long a period of time does that take?
That's a very global question there.
You know what? Yeah, it's on the individual. So I use this process all the time. I can now go through this in minutes. Some of my clients take hours or days or weeks. Some are still taking months. It really is down to the individual, and it's how ready are you to make this shift. And the only reason we're not ready is because of the fear that's within us. We're so scared to go into the unknown, and that's coming from a place of ego. As soon as you recognize that fear of the unknown, that fear of expansion, is just ego trying to keep us small, and that on the other side, our soul is so expansive, then you'll be able to shift. But honestly, it's down to the individual. Some are more scared than others. Some are risk takers. Some are adrenaline junkies, and they're like, yeah, let's just do this. Let's just go for it,
Yeah.
Others are more tentative. There's no right or wrong way to do it. As a coach, my intention is always to hold my clients in their power, and really nurture them through this process.
I think if we keep reminding ourselves, too, that we are doing, and I mentioned this earlier, a disservice to our family, our community, our world, to, again, God, the universe, spirit, we're doing a complete disservice by not tapping into our greatness and living in that fear, living in that smallness.
But first you have to have the awareness. If you don't have the awareness...
You have to be mindful of that, absolutely.
If you're not aware, you're not going to know. If people could go 80 years and not do the same thing over day and day.
That's absolutely
until
right.
somebody's, like, for instance, if she went on and met somebody and told them this, okay, that's fine. But if she never met that person could continue day after day, mowing the lawn, day after day and day after day.
Yes, that person has to want to create greater things in life. And I think that's absolutely important to first of all, identify that, yes, I want more. I want, this is, where I'm at today is not where I want to be the rest of my life. What do I have to do to change? What has to happen? We've got about 2 more minutes, and I want to make sure that everyone knows where they can, I know we mentioned your website at the top of the hour, but spell out your website for us so that people can see, and we'll have a link on the site, won't we?
On Ask Brien.
Yeah, so a link to your website.
Guys.
But let's share. Go ahead.
Sorry, talking over each other. So it's www.askharriet, which is AskHarriette.co.uk. And there's all my tour stuff on there, all the events and workshops that I'm doing in the States, but there's also loads of free resources. I've got a free money ebook on there, which is 26 tips and tricks to shift your mindset into one of abundance overnight. So that could be really useful. It's completely free, and you can download it off my website.
So Ask Brien can ask Harriet.
Absolutely. I love it.
We're both ask.
Yeah, that's right. So double R, double T. Okay, it is .co.uk, not .com for those listening, because we're so used to saying .com.
Well, that's because you're an American.
So
Sorry.
yes, I know. No, that's great. That's wonderful. So it's been a great show. Thank you so much. You've shared a lot and give us all a lot to think about. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220.
And
Thank you.
we're going to
Harriet.
call you when you come to LA. We're going to call you on the phone just as a hello while on the show one day. So you'll be here
I look forward to it.
the week of what, March 20th?
Yes.
Okay, we'll be calling you on that Thursday.